Let's get into it. I left a little later than I wanted to today. Actually, a lot later. Nevertheless, let's get into it. So, Chris Rock has been trending because basically he responded to the slaverization, what happened last year. Oh, shoot, look, what you doing? What you doing, car? Yo, stay in your lane. See, this is why you got to keep an eye out for these people. Nevertheless, see, I got my eye on this chick. I don't know what this chick is doing. So, let's keep it moving. So last year, Will Smith was in his feelings because he was emasculated by his wife. Now we're just gonna call a thing a thing. He was in his feelings because he was constantly being emasculated by his wife. Chris Rock did not help. So two things can be true at the same time. Chris Rock in his inner douchebag. Man, I have a little frog in my throat today. Chris Rock in his inner douchebag took a shot. And sometimes some things don't need to be said. You can leave it left unsaid, actually. We know that she was just clowning. Jada was clowning her own husband in the public eye. But Chris, to add insult to injury, starts trying to come at Jada. Now, this is the thing. He is a comedian. Do I find that Chris Rock, I think personally, he's a little bit of a clown, if you ask me. I think Chris Rock is a modern day vaudeville act. He's a court jester. Now, does it mean that he doesn't say things that are true? But he likes to take shots at black women for sure. And it's some of it's subtle. I think he's just as damaging as a Tyler Perry. However, I still think that it was really messed up for Will Smith to go up there and slap him. Now, black women were like, protect black women, we love it. They, and all this faux outrage and stuff like that. I'm like, first of all, before I get into my opinion, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, I think was wrong. Okay, like but black women ate that up. They were sopping it up with biscuits. They're like, yeah, he's protecting this woman. I'm like, no, he wasn't. We're gonna call a thing a thing. This was not about protecting Jada. It was not. It was about him. If he was protecting Jada, actually, what he would have been doing was protecting himself long ago so that he would not have put himself in a situation to be emasculated by Jada. We already know Jada is unhinged, okay? She needs some kind of therapy. Now, that situation with Will Smith, that wasn't about protecting his wife, okay? That was basically about him and him, like the position he was in and the things going on with Jada. Protecting black women does not look like going up on a stage and slapping someone because you're embarrassed. I mean, he could have said something from the audience. I mean, and it would have held clout. And it would have shut Chris Rock down. I do think protecting black women starts long before the slaverization. It starts in the comedic content. It starts in the way we talk to black women. It starts in the way we treat black women. It starts in our ave. It starts in our music. It starts in lots of things. Now, we're going to fast forward to present day. So Chris Rock is chrising right now. What I mean by that, he is exploiting the heartstrings of the community right now, right? And to be honest, it is within his right, because when you have some dingaling walk up on stage and put hands on you, now, am I a fan of what Chris Rock is doing? No, but it is within his right if he wants to sit there and yap about how he was basically slapped around. He took shots at Will, and it's within his right. It's within his right. He was like, look, I was raised. And I'm like, I hear you, Chris. I don't really care for you, though. I still think you are a douche. However, you can't be mad at the way someone processes a form of trauma. And do I think that he's going to milk this for everything? He sure is. He's going to exploit it. Hence, Chris is chrising, and he's going to be paid for it. That is my understanding. Everything's alleged. Everything's all alleged until proven to be true or untrue. Alleged. But he's just basically profiting off of it right now. So now, I mean, do I agree? No. Within his right? Yes. Because this is the thing. This is what our community does. This is why we are unhinged as a, let me rephrase that, the culture, the culture, the current culture within the community. The culture is already unhinged. We have no concept on how to gatekeep and keep things within. We have to talk about everything all the time. And we want everyone to know my feelings are hurt. I am unhinged and suffer from arrested development. So he's going to Chris. Chris is going to do the business of Chrising, which is exploiting this situation. And as he should. Let me tell you something, that slap was seen around the world. He's going to deal with that forever because he was handled. He was manhandled by Will Smith. Okay, so that in itself is a form of trauma. It is embarrassment. It is a stain on the Rock family. Okay, so he has to live with that. Um, I think in his what I heard people play online, I really can't fault him for the things that he's saying, except for I think the only thing where I would probably pull back is he's calling Jada bees, this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting here thinking like this. She wasn't the one that slapped you. Your issue is with Will Smith. Why are you going in hard on her? She didn't put hands on you. She didn't get up there and publicly humiliate. She didn't do anything. But he took that opportunity to still take a shot at Jada. And I was like, no, your issue is not with Jada. Your issue is with Will. Will's issue is with Jada. And I feel like, Chris Rock, he's someone that you have to be careful who you align with. Like that guy, like I think that he's got some issues that he has not addressed because he definitely, I just think he has this thing against black women. Now, with that being said, if you traumatize someone, you don't get to determine how this person responds in the media or anything like that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but it's not for me to agree with because I wasn't the one that was slapped, that was manhandled, that was embarrassed, that was emasculated, that was any of those things, and for it to be shown and seen, shown and heard around the world. It wasn't me. Chris Rock, I think, has to speak on it, right? He's talking about his experience on how he felt. And what part of I've only heard like a snippet of it, so everyone's playing, snippets of the performance. And from what I've heard, I'm like, I can't really disagree, except for the part where he's going in on Jada, calling her a B and all this stuff like that. I'm like, wait a second, who are you really mad at? Why are you going in hard on her when you're mad at Will? Will did it. Now, for all the black women out there, I know you're going to disagree with me, and it's okay. This is why we want to have open dialogue. Let me make this clear. I am not claiming to be a fan of Chris Rock, but Will Smith, is that how we want black women to be protected? We just want our men to just constantly engaging in violent acts and that type of thing? The protection starts before then. The protection starts in leaning in on our men to stop making disparaging comedic content about us, about our hair, about our bodies, about our attitude, anything like that. We're the only culture that seems to want to go in and disparage our greatest resource, which is our men, our children and our women. Let me rephrase that. Of course, men are our greatest resource too. But if you're supposed to be the leaders and the protectors of the community, and then it's, the first chance you get is to get on stage and disparage black women. You cosplay black women. And when you cosplay, you make sure you pick the most insulting costumes, floppy breasts that are like cocked to the side, this, that, and the other, weird wigs, and you change the way we speak. And I'm like, we are a highly educated group of women, but yet when you're speaking about us and when you're mimicking us, even the language that you use is ridiculous. Everyone is the so-called Shaquita or whatever the stereotype is, right? I'm like, well, first of all, the vast majority of black women don't even talk like that. We really do not. Anyway, So it starts before then. It starts with making sure that our men, when they're going to go up there and represent, when they shouldn't be representing black women, but they're going to get on stage or entertainment or whatever, and if they're going to use us in their content, you are supposed to help gatekeep our image, as we would we're responsible for doing those things too for black men. So that's what the protection looks like. It starts before the slapperization. It's in our music, it's in our literature, it's in how we treat each other, it's in our ave, what we say, how we refer to each other as bees, hoes, baby daddies, baby moms. Like, no, 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 no. That's the protection. The protection is making sure that you can financially take care of your family. The protection is being there so that the woman and the children are covered, so that they don't have to feel like they have to engage in all forms of security for themselves because their so-called mates and brethren are not there protecting them. Protecting black women means making sure you bring resources into the community, creating a culture of doers and creators and builders. That is protecting black women. It's halting people when they want to say something that's disparaging. And not only that, check this out. If you're harmed or hurt by someone, a black woman, it's the way you talk to her. Say, hey, look, I want you to understand I'm hurting. I'm hurting right now. Well, men don't say I'm hurting, but they can say I'm offended. I don't know, whatever the language is. But to you, men and women talk to each other differently. And I think men think that they have to talk to women like men. Then they claim, oh, you're so masculine. I'm like, but you're talking to them like a dude. How do you want them to respond? You're treating the women like men. So getting back to Chris Rock chrising, he's doing what I expected. We knew this was going to happen. He was going to exploit the situation, as is within his right, to be honest. He was the one who was embarrassed and emasculated. He was physically assaulted on stage by some dude who was in his feelings because he did not get himself under control and he did not control his situation. That's what it is. All right. Now, look. This is when you leave a comment and you say how great I am, and then you send it to all your friends. All your friends. Send it out. Send it to your friends. Send it to, and watch. Go ahead and watch it several times. Leave a comment. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. So look, try not to be mad at me. I mean, you can. Just don't be ignorant in the comments.